So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be talking about today, whether it's going to be about what people mean when they talk about things like cure and prevention and treatment for autism, or what happens in the IEP process, the individual education plan process. It's that time of year where we're looking to be wrapping up the school year and going over how the school year went. And as a parent, when your kids are still in school and with autistic kids, you do a lot of heavy lifting to make sure that your kids receive the education that is due them. There are a lot of laws and regulations on the federal and state level that say, what is supposed to happen with your child's education. But anybody who's been around in the education setting for like 5 minutes understands that unless you are there constantly advocating for your child, that's not going to happen. And for me, having 2 kids on the autism spectrum, I spend a lot of time advocating for them and making sure that, the things that are supposed to happen for them actually happen. And that is exhausting for a lot of parents. That's where they lose it, having to deal with the structures and the people who are supposed to be helping their children. And oftentimes the things that are supposed to help aren't actually helping. Yeah. Raise your hand if that's something that drives you up the wall as a parent. Raise your hand if that's something that drives you up the wall as an autistic person. So, yeah, there's a bit of frustration there in that the structures and the agencies and the people that are supposed to help autistic people and supposed to support them oftentimes act as a hindrance. What can we do about that? For myself as a parent, that means that I am constantly talking to teachers and guidance counselors and speech therapists. And I am constantly talking to the superintendent of our school district, and I'm having conversations with the education commissioners at the Board of Education. It means that I'm talking to school administrators, principals, and vice principals. And it means that I'm talking to community members to find out what's going on with their kids at their schools. And it means that I'm talking to anybody who has information for me. I'm talking to their doctors. I'm talking to other families. I'm reading research papers. I literally have a file box full of research papers that I have read, and there's a bunch more on my computer that I have not read yet. Plus, there's always somebody who's like, "Oh, have you read this paper?" "No, I haven't." "What's the reference for that paper, please?" It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of heavy lifting for parents, and it would be great to have the people who are supposed to be helping coming alongside of us helping rather than kind of mucking things up. So that's where I direct a lot of my energy for my family, and for the sake of other families who are walking the same journey at the same time, and for people who are going to be coming along behind us, because more kids are diagnosed every day. And for the family who's just brand new to this journey and they're like, what the heck just happened? I want to leave them a world that's a little bit easier to navigate, where you say, okay, you go here, you go here, you go here, you ask this question, you ask that question, you ask that question. If they give you this answer, this is how you respond. If they give you that answer, this is how you respond. If you get this answer, you're golden. Somebody knows what they're doing. So there's a lot of heavy lifting involved for families living with autism. And that's before you even get to understanding your autistic friends and family members and learning their personality and learning who they are. Because as you are learning who they are and learning what makes them awesome and learning what makes them tick, you are also having to navigate this system that's supposed to help them that oftentimes doesn't. Because one of the things that's really frustrating is that there's an inconsistent quality to the people who are helping. Sometimes you get really, really good people who really know their stuff, really on the ball, and who are really good at doing their jobs. And sometimes you don't. And sometimes you get people who are really great at collaborating with you, who are awesome. Oh, great. You have all this information. You have all this knowledge. You have all these resources. I love that you're so involved. And I love that you're coming alongside and that you're working alongside with me. These are some great areas where we can collaborate and do awesome things for your child, for your loved one, for you. And then you get people who are like, oh, you brought information. Okay, thanks. I'll see what I can do with it. And nothing happens. So, and learning how to deal with all that and respond to all that in a way that is helpful to your child or yourself as a self-advocate. It's a learning curve, and it's challenging. It's interesting. I have to say that, though, one time that I cried about my children being autistic was when I realized that that was going to be my life, that I was going to have to fight and struggle with a system that was designed to help them that would not necessarily meet their needs. So it's been a long haul, and it's been a tough fight. But, you know, it's worth it when you find those individuals who are good at what they do, and they're good at their craft, and they're on the ball, and they care, and they do the work to really reach out to your autistic loved one, or to you if you're the one who's on the spectrum, and to really get to know you, and to, you know, they bring their A game to help you or to help your loved one grow and succeed and see what great things you can do. So those things kind of really override those times where the whole system's really frustrating. But I'm still working on tweaking the system so that it's less of a dead weight for people and more of a flotation device to get folks to safety and to a good place where they can function and be productive members of society. Because isn't that what we all want for ourselves and for our loved ones? No matter what, we want to be able to live our lives and find what we're good at and do what we're good at and contribute to society and leave something good behind and support ourselves. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I guess that's what I ended up talking about today. We'll talk another time about, what do people mean when they say cure, prevention, treatment? Because, I ask people what they mean and they don't really know. So we can talk about that later. Thanks for listening. Guys, what do we want everyone to do with our videos?
Like, comment, and subscribe.